Once upon a time, there was a king with 2 queens. One of them was a demoness, a Rakshasi in disguise, but no one knew her secret. Each queen had a son. The kind, noble queen had a boy named Kusum, and the demoness queen had a boy named Ajit. The 2 boys grew up like best friends, inseparable like twin flowers from the same stem. But the demoness queen's heart burned with jealousy, and her tongue craved blood. She dreamed of one day cooking a curry with the tender flesh of her co-wife's son, Kusum. But the problem, her own son Ajit wouldn't leave Kusum's side. Their bond made her furious. Her teeth chattered with rage, and her 5 senses burned with poison. Desperate to find an excuse, she began seeking ways to torment her rival. She watched the other queen with cruel eyes, as if sucking the life from her. Soon enough, the kind queen fell ill. Her body grew weaker each day, and within 2 days, she was dead. The kingdom plunged into mourning. No one understood what had happened. But the demoness, she began whispering poison. She cursed Kusum with, "Die, die," and even cursed her own son Ajit with, "Move, move." She bullied her own child for staying close to the boy she wanted to devour. Ajit, heartbroken, wiped his elder brother's tears in private. "Brother," he said, "let's not stay here anymore. We won't go near my mother again. No one goes near a demon's heart." Ajit's soul was made of iron, but Kusum's soul was gold, sensitive, soft, breakable. Day by day, Kusum began to wither away. The demoness queen noticed this. "What, my own son has become my enemy?" Her heart filled with fire. One night, a terrible thing happened. The royal elephants died, the horses collapsed, and the cows perished in their sheds. The king was shocked and worried. The next night, a chilling sound echoed through the palace. "Kai Mai!" The king woke up with a start and grabbed his sword. He rushed to the royal children's room. There, on their golden bed, Ajit and Kusum were sleeping. But over them loomed a massive, hideous demon, grabbing Kusum like a doll. The creature tore at Kusum's body. Blood dripped, bones cracked. The king tried to move, to attack, but he was frozen. His hands, his feet, his voice, nothing obeyed him. He watched helplessly, eyes flooding with tears, as the demon devoured Kusum in front of him. The queen, the demoness herself, stood in the corner, laughing wildly. Ajit woke up. The night felt cursed, and his heart turned cold. "Where's my brother?" he whispered in panic. He looked around. The room was full of shadows. He heard the tinkling sound of the queen's bangles. And there, in front of his eyes, a demon was eating his beloved brother. Terrified, yet furious, Ajit ran and slapped the demon across the face. The demon howled in pain, spat out a glowing lump of gold, and ran away. The queen's face twisted. Her own son had struck down the demon she had become. Now even her child had turned against her. Blinded by fury and madness, she grabbed Ajit and chewed him to death herself. From her throat, a lump of iron rolled out and hit the floor. She staggered. Her eyes burned. She picked up both the golden and iron lumps and climbed to the roof of the palace. There the demons gathered. It was their night market. One side screamed, "Hum hum, stay, let's eat more." The other side shouted, "Gum gum, let's flee, let's return home." The queen screamed above them all, "Gob gob, gum, stay silent and listen. I stay here. You will go back to your land." The demons roared. The top of the palace cracked. The king's heart trembled. Trees twisted, rivers rose in waves, and the demons vanished, rushing away to their dark homeland. The queen returned home, her body burning, her feet blistered. She couldn't rest. Outside, her heart ached. Inside, her mind throbbed. Unable to bear the torment, she took out her magical demon stick, lit it on fire, and burned it. Then, disguised under the fog of illusion, she quietly went to the riverbank, buried the lumps of gold and iron beneath a bamboo grove, and returned, thinking she was safe now. But she did not hear the crow cawing before the bamboo, nor the fox crying behind the bushes. The next morning, chaos, bones scattered in homes, skulls in the streets, demons had overrun the land. When the people heard that even the royal princes had been eaten, they ran. Families fled the kingdom in hordes. The king remained frozen, like a puppet. His kingdom swallowed whole by demons. By the riverbank, a bamboo forest danced with the wind. One day, a farmer came and began cutting bamboo. As he cut one, he noticed something strange. Nestled between two bamboo stalks were two large round eggs. Were they snake eggs or something else? The farmer, scared, threw them away. Suddenly the eggs cracked open. From the red egg and the blue egg emerged two shining princes, one clad in red, the other in blue. Crowns on their heads, swords in their hands, the twin princes zoomed out of the forest like lightning and left the kingdom behind. The farmer fainted in fear. When he came to, he found that the red egg had turned into gold and the blue one into iron. He used the iron to forge a sickle for farming and the gold to craft a beautiful nose ring and bangles for his daughter-in-law. Meanwhile, the twin princes, Red Lotus and Blue Lotus, travelled far and wide until they reached a kingdom plagued by a terrible monster, a kokosh, a type of ogre. The king of that land had a cruel rule. Every day he would appoint a new minister, but the monster would eat him by night, along with an entire village. The king had announced, "If any pair of twin princes can kill the monster, they shall win both my twin daughters and my kingdom." Many had tried, all had failed and eaten by the monster. Red Lotus and Blue Lotus came to the king and declared, "We have come to slay the monster." The king was unsure, hope flickered in his heart, but fear lingered. Still, he said, "Very well." The brothers were placed in a guarded chamber for the night. They unsheathed their swords and waited. Hours passed, no sign of the monster. A quarter of the night, nothing. Half the night, silence. They started getting sleepy. Blue Lotus told his brother, "Brother, let me sleep for a while. Wake me later and you can sleep then." "But if the monster comes," he warned, "and asks our names, make sure you say my name first, not yours." Red Lotus sat alert with his sword, eyes fixed. At midnight, the monster came. It seemed to dislike light. It growled, "Put out the lamps." Red Lotus replied, "No." The lead kokosh snarled, "Who's awake in there?" All the other kokosh hissed in chorus, "Who's awake? Who's awake?" Red Lotus boldly answered, "Blue Lotus wakes, Red Lotus too. Our sword is wide awake, and the ghee lamp burns bright. Who dares come to die tonight?" At the name Blue Lotus, the monsters backed off in fear. Why? Because they knew Blue Lotus was born of a demon queen. Demon blood flowed in his veins. The monsters whispered, "He must be tested." They started their tricks and tests. First they asked, "Let us see your fingernails." Red Lotus pushed Blue Lotus's crown out with his sword tip. The monsters trembled. If his nails are like that, what might the rest be like? Then they said, "Let us see your spit." Red Lotus heated ghee in the lamp and flung it at them. The smell of their burning fur filled the room. Lastly, "Let us see your tongues." Red and Blue pushed their swords out the door. The lead monster grabbed it, shouting, "Let's pull out their tongues together. Everyone, pull with me." As they pulled, the blade sliced through the monster's hands. Black blood sprayed everywhere. Howling in pain, the Kokosh army scattered and ran. Much later, the lead monster limped back, yelling, "Who's still awake?" But Red Lotus, now sleepy, made a mistake. He answered, "Red Lotus is awake," and before he could finish, the monsters burst through the door. The lamp overturned, his crown fell, and the monsters pounced on him. He screamed, "Brother!" Blue Lotus woke up. He called out in a magical chant, "Aramka stick, Jarama stick, who wakes me with such a kick? See who dares disturb my sleep." At the sound of his voice, the monsters started fainting with fear. Blue Lotus lit the lamp again, picked up his sword, and sliced through the entire monster army like dry grass. The leader fell before him like a baby lizard. After washing their hands and faces, the brothers finally slept in peace. In the morning, the king entered and saw the twin princes fast asleep, like red hibiscus flowers lying amid heaps of dead monsters. He bowed and praised them. As promised, the kingdom and the two princesses were now theirs. But what about the demon queen? She had taken refuge in the palace. When her demon spies, Ai and Kai, told her about the monster's defeat, she beat her chest and wailed, "Oh no, I'm finished! Poison in my womb, curse in my blood. My enemies live, my line ends." She sent Ai and Kai in disguise to the court. They tricked them by saying, "We need oil from the monster's head to cure the king's illness. Without it, he will die." The brothers agreed to go fetch the oil. With sharpened new swords, they set off. They passed through a deep forest and rested under a huge banyan tree. That tree was home to two Bengma and Bengmi birds. Bengmi said to Bengma, "Such kind souls, a drop of their blood could open our children's eyes." The princes overheard and called up, "We're willing to give our blood." Touched, the birds flew down. The princes pricked their fingers and gave a few drops. Soon the birdlings flew down, eyes opened. "Who are you, noble princes?" they chirped. "We want nothing in return," said the brothers. But the birdlings insisted, "At least let us carry you to your destination." Off they flew, through forests and rivers, mountains and skies, moon and sun. They flew for 7 days and nights. On the 8th day, they landed on a hilltop. Beyond it lay the demon kingdom. Before they left, Blue Lotus picked up some black peas and filled Red Lotus's pouch. "If they ask you to chew iron, just chew these peas instead." As they crossed the field, "How, Mao, cow, I smell human flesh. Let me catch and crunch." The demon hordes rushed in from all directions. Blue Lotus shouted, "Mother!" "Oh, Mother, we have come, your grandsons Red and Blue." The monster army froze. Then came their grandmother, a huge hairy hag with tangled locks, Grandma Ai, bouncing on long limbs and shaking the earth. She picked up Blue Lotus and cried, "My sweet grandson, my Blue." But when she saw Red Lotus, she sniffed and frowned. "Who is this? He smells like a human." Blue replied, "He's my younger brother." Grandma Ai was suspicious. "If he's really my grandson, let him chew iron." She pulled 5 lumps of iron peas from her nose and offered them. Red Lotus, prepared, discreetly swapped them with real peas and chewed loudly. Satisfied, Grandma Ai hugged both. "Red and Blue, my grandsons dear, I'll love you both and hold you near." Yet, something still bothered her. Red Lotus's smell. Her eyes squinted, her tongue flicked. She licked her lips but held back. Finally, she took them home. What a city that was! Across the kingdom, the city of the burning festival was overflowing with demons. The demons scoured the earth, hunting and gathering all living creatures, animals and humans, and dumped them into that cursed city. Riding on the shoulders of red and blue demons, one could see mountains of corpses, piles of disease and decay. The city oozed rot and filth, bubbling and squelching in such a way that even ghosts would flee from its stench. Gods and demons alike were terrified. Seeing this, Red Lotus said, "Brother, Earth is almost destroyed." Blue Lotus remained silent for a moment and then said, "No, Earth can't survive this way." That night, while the demons of darkness were away trying to destroy kingdoms beyond the 7 seas, Blue Lotus quietly took Red Lotus to the southern well of the demon city. "Brother," Blue said, "hold my clothes." He stripped down, climbed into the well, and brought out a sword and a golden box. As soon as he opened the box, 2 buzzing magical wasps emerged, the life-giver and the death-bringer. The moment the wind touched the wings of these 2 creatures, the demons began to tremble. Their heads buzzed, their hearts pounded. Even the demon queen in the foolish king's kingdom began to doze off in fear. Their bodies shivered, and the demons began running back with their long legs leaping across rivers and mountains. Seeing them return, Blue Lotus broke off one leg of the life-giver. And just like that, all the demons' legs fell off. Still using only their hands, they crawled toward him. Blue Lotus broke off 4 more legs from the magical creature, and all the demons' hands dropped too. No hands, no legs, and still the demons shouted, "Howl, roar, devour all enemies." They rolled and tumbled toward Blue Lotus. Then, with one strike of his sword, Blue Lotus chopped off the magical wasp's head. And with it, all the demons' heads fell. Only the old demoness's head remained. It flew off and tried to bite and swallow Blue Lotus and Red Lotus. But even she failed. At last, the demon city stood silent. No one remained. Blue Lotus and Red Lotus carefully wrapped the old demoness's head in new cloth, placed the golden box holding the Deathbringer safely, and called out, "Bengum! Bengum!" summoning their magical bird friend. After 3 months and 13 nights, the 2 brothers finally returned to their homeland. The people erupted in joy. Blue Lotus and Red Lotus asked, "Where are the soldiers? We bring the medicine." But there were no soldiers left. Ai and Kai, the traitor soldiers, were actually demons in disguise. They died the same day the demons fell. So Blue Lotus and Red Lotus packed the demon queen's head and sent it to the foolish king with an escort of their own soldiers. Oh dear! The demon queen, seeing the head, immediately lost her disguise and reverted to her monstrous form. She screamed, "Crush and chew, crunch the bones through, burn, burn in funeral flame, only that can calm my pain." And with that, the demon queen rushed madly toward the kingdom of Blue Lotus and Red Lotus. Outside the palace gates, she roared, "Come! Come!" Red Lotus said calmly, "Stop, stop." He opened the golden box and released the Deathbringer. Her body swelled up like a drum, her eyes turned cloudy, and before she could take another breath, the demon queen dropped dead on the spot. People came running and stared in shock. What's this now? A monster granny? Was she invited to a feast in our kingdom? Everyone burst out laughing. Ho ho ho! The executioners came and threw the demon's body away. The demon queen died, and the foolish king suddenly recovered from his mysterious illness. Feeling well again, he sent announcements across the land. But the people asked, where are our beloved princes Ajit and Kusum?" The king sighed. "Alas, where are Ajit and Kusum?" Just then, the sound of drums echoed through the palace. The king said, "Go see who it is." And there, hand in hand, came the two princes, Ajit and Kusum, bowing before the king. The king gasped, "Are you my Ajit and Kusum?" The people cheered. "Yes, these are our Ajit and Kusum." And so the two kingdoms were united. Blue Lotus and Red Lotus married Ilaboti and Lilaboti, and all four lived happily ever after.